Hey, what's up, Eclipse? It's DaxterXX again. I recently started doing a bunch of videos because I feel it's easier to actually hear and watch things instead of just reading them in a post. Including, there's a bunch of people on Eclipse, including myself, who can't even type, so whatever. I thought it was a great idea for me to do this. I see a lot of people on Eclipse that actually want to create a legit game. Like, they want to make a game and have it go somewhere, like RuneScape or World of Warcraft. Let me tell you something. Eclipse is like a 2-bit, it's not even a company, it's a site that has a bunch of stoners and, wannabe programmers and some really amazing people on the site that actually do know how to program. And, they all say the same thing, that it is possible to create a legitimate game with Eclipse, but if you do not have the time, effort, or patience to, really sit down and focus on your game, it's not going to go anywhere. Like, let's say you're focusing one day. It's not going to take a day. It's going to take... Why does this always happen? It's going to take a lot of time to actually make a video game. And at that, an MMO, I mean, we're talking about, like, high scaled. There's a difference between ORPG and an MMORPG. MMORPG is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game, whereas ORPG is an online role-playing game. Either one of those terms, you're going to need a lot of time. So I figured that I've had a lot of experience between placing first place in a programming contest. I wrote a program in Visual C++. It was a program that it was like a library of information that can be stored between different computers. Basically, it was my own version of remote desktop connection, where you can view each other's desktops, but you could also store data. So it kind of had like a Dropbox format as well. And we got first place on that. It was written in DX for .NET. Shit, what was the networking? Oh, fuck, I forget what I had it in. It was in here. Anyway, I've had experience with programming, and I've also had experience to work with people who actually had like a small-time gaming company in my town. We took a tour for our programming class to go in there and take a look. It was pretty cool. They did a lot of Java applications, Flash games, nothing like Eclipse. It was don't show this message again. But it was kind of cool. So I do understand a little bit of what goes into these kind of games. So what I did was I figured I'll make a video about everything I've learned and seen from my experience of programming and being able to take an actual day tour of a studio that actually makes games. And I plan on writing my own video series about how to do this for people. Now, this video is what I'm going to do in this video is basically start right now by creating my own base game and doing everything that needs to be done. You can watch and make sure, like, you can literally open up your source and do everything that I do. It'll be easy for you to comprehend and move along because it's in a video format instead of text. So enough talk. Why don't we begin by the basics? One of the first things you got to do by creating a game is obviously pick a name. It's step one, but it's the easiest. A name can be anything from, something as simple as acronyms, synonyms, or antonyms of your favorite word. My game that I'm going to be making is called Aeronaut. It comes from a Greek word meaning loyal and libertas, or something. I forget where it was. I got it out of a history book. So that's what happens when you're bored in history. But, so yeah, that shit kind of sounded cool to me. So I was like, alright, Aeronaut. Loyal and Libertas. Okay. So, Aeronaut is my game name. So, step one is pick a decent name that you can be proud of. And also, I found it was kind of cool to actually think of, like, a .com name. Think of something that cool that goes with .com. Like aeronaut.com. I already registered it. Sounds pretty cool. Easy to remember. Decent. Another thing, word of advice, keep the word online out of your game. I've seen so many words, like, let's do this, watch. Let's type in online in forums. Site's so slow. search results for online. There are some Wolf Tracker online. I don't know what the hell that says. Lorian Heroes online. Pistorian online. Equestria Origins online. Keep the goddamn word online out of your game. It's so stupid. Like, no shit it's online because you're advertising it and the name sounds just redundant because it's an online game. Just keep it out. It sounds terrible and, you know, it doesn't even sound good. So keep online out of it. Another easy step would be step 2, and that's obviously pick an engine. If you have an engine that you want to make an MMO out of that's other than Eclipse, that's great. Do not use any of those other Visual Basic 6 engines other than maybe Mirage or Eclipse. Player Worlds sucks. You know what, let me rephrase that. In a sense, use only an open source engine because most of the closed source engines, like Player Worlds, don't even have the basic shit that you need. So yeah, stay away from those. I will be using Eclipse Dawn. I believe this is the last version that Stein released. Stein's just a fucking boss because like he added so much shit that into here as far as bug fixes go and a few optimizations. I even did a loading test. A blank vanilla copy of EO is slower than Eclipse Dawn. And Eclipse Dawn has the event system and it has auto tiles for XP sprites and all that kind of stuff, and it loads faster. So pick an engine that you're comfortable with. I will be using Eclipse Dawn. At times you will see me you will see me copying and pasting tutorials out of the tutorial section on the site simply because I don't have time. I'm not going to waste your time or my time commenting and typing all the bug fixes out when they're already there. But as for the majority of the time, most features I'll be hard coding myself and just putting them in there. So yeah. I'm trying to think. After 2 comes 3, but I don't have a step 3. So I guess this is where you can possibly end the first video. Take those steps into consideration, pick a decent name without the word online, and decide what engine you want. Honestly, if you want to go DX7, because I've been working with DX7 for like 6 years now, you can make a really decent game. The only downside I possibly can think of is just there's no PNG or transparency rendering. But I mean, you know, you really don't need that. I mean, it really renders redundant. I don't see... I can make an awesome game without transparencies. Or alpha blending. If you're going to use an Eclipse engine, I would recommend only using Eclipse Advanced. I think his name is Deathbeam that made it, because that's a really good engine. For those of you who are still holding your breath for 3.1, I wouldn't even wait on using it, because the only thing that is being added to it are a few bug fixes, a new GUI, and maybe a couple other things in there. That's it. If you really want to wait, go ahead, but I mean, you'd be wasting your time and you might get left behind in the series. So pick an engine and pick a name. Those are the 2 things that I need you to do. Alright, I'll probably have the next video within a couple hours. That's where we'll actually start opening our source and you know, going from there. For those of you who wish to use the Eclipse Dawn, I think it's still on the site, but if you really want it, because I'm telling you, it's a pretty great engine. Stein did an excellent job with it. If you want it, just PM me on Eclipse, and I'll set it up for you. Alright, until then, DaxterXX signing off.